and welcome. My name is Lola, and on this channel we're talking about learning English as a second language. If you're new to this channel, please sit down, fill up the form, and I'll contact you in a week. That was not a funny joke, because today we're talking about dad jokes. Oh my god. I wanted to make this video for a long time. First of all, in my 20s, I spent a lot of time doing comedy, all kinds of shows, and dad jokes is a very specific breed of humor that helps you to understand American culture and to learn English better. So it's a very useful tool for us English learners. So let's dive into that. So what is a dad joke? To be honest, when I came to United States, myself not being a native speaker, coming from another country, understanding American humor was kind of challenging. And at first, I was almost like annoyed when you're hearing a joke and you don't get it. You experience this feel of foreignness, like you're foreign. You feel that you're not getting it, like you don't know enough of language. You don't understand like where's the fun in it. And now, fast forward, I'm not only laughing at those jokes, I understand them, I love them, I appreciate them for its structure, because I think, once again, it's so beneficial for learner. So if I need to give you a definition, what is a dad joke? It's usually a joke that could be told by dad, a dad, any dad, in order to make their kids laugh. But usually, since dad is not a comedian, those jokes are very simple. It's usually one-liner, meaning it's one line or one sentence, and it usually has a pun at heart. I'll talk more about what's pun and what's the example of punny jokes, but now more about what is the dad jokes concept overall. So it is a kind of joke that is that simple and that's unfunny, not funny at all, that it makes us laugh because it's so silly, funny, simple, not funny, and kind of stupid, but in a light-hearted way. It's not like it's a foolish joke, but it's more like ha ha kind of joke. The longer you learn language, the better you are at understanding the dad jokes. And my personal take on that, I started loving it because I love seeing other people laugh. For me, the funniest part is to watch people cracking up each other with the silly jokes. And when you see them laughing, you want to laugh. It's like a reaction, chain reaction. So some of the videos, and I will leave some links below, I recommend you're checking out. And if you won't understand everything, it's okay. Just enjoy the process. Enjoy watching people enjoying something. It's gonna be fun. And maybe you've seen it online. It's a very famous game when two comedians or two actors or two bloggers, whoever, two YouTubers, TikTokers would sit in front of each other and tell jokes so unfunny that they start laughing, but the task is not to laugh. But it's so silly that they cannot not laugh. And whoever laughs loses a score. So whoever makes the other person laugh wins a score. I will attach a link, for example, with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg playing this game. My personal favorite, and I will probably use some examples from his YouTube and TikTok, Logan Lyle. Oh my god, he's like a king of YouTube and TikTok when it comes to dad jokes. So after watching this video, please go check them out because you will learn a lot and I'm sure you will laugh a lot. Before getting into the jokes itself, I know we can't wait, I want to point out the fact that in American English, we simplify things. And have you noticed, it's not dad's joke or dad's jokes, but dad jokes. We're dropping the apostrophe. It's a common convention in English, usually when we're describing some categories. Let's say we have a list of things, like mom jokes, dad jokes. It's not like we're talking about the belonging, even though we do. It's more like we're generalizing, and typecasting them in category. It happens very often in American English, and I know us English learners, we're like, oh, is it dad's jokes or dad jokes? Always go with the simple version. I mean, for some reason, it's kind of true for American English. So some things, they just become conventional. Okay, dad jokes. As I said before, at the heart of a lot of dad jokes is a pun. Pun, what is pun? Such a weird word. It's not pan that we cook with. Pun is a form of wordplay when we use double meanings of words. Some words, they have multiple meanings, or some words that are spelled differently but pronounced the same. Those are all puns. For example, great example of a dad joke. Why don't eggs tell jokes? They'd crack each other up. Not funny, but when somebody tells you that, it creates such an awkward pause. It's like, that's actually my popular reaction. But when you understand that it is meant to be that way, then when it becomes funny, because it's so silly. So crack, crack, when we see a crack, when egg cracks, it breaks. Same with the word crack, it cracks me when I laugh, when I was serious and then I started laughing. It means like it cracks me up. Like we could say, John cracks me up. He makes me laugh. He's like, he says something and I'm like, and I cannot not laugh. I'm cracked by Joan's sense of humor. So that is example of a pun when we use the word crack that has different meaning, like crack as a crack in the building or in the egg, and crack to crack somebody up, like to make him or her laugh. That's why don't eggs tell jokes? They crack each other up. Or, I only know 25 letters of the alphabet. I don't know why. Why is a letter, right? And we pronounce the same as question. I don't know why. And why. And that's why it's kind of So that is why dad jokes are treasures for us, because it's like a little test in our English language knowledge. They're very educative. They challenge us to think about the language. They challenge us to think about the meaning, to understand this little rebus about the language, right? And of course, it could be and would be annoying for a beginner who doesn't know a lot about English language, and it just will make you feel like you don't understand it. But as soon as you're getting towards intermediate level or like further, it'll be funny, it'll be interesting. So I really, really recommend you going through dad jokes videos, because it's fun. Interesting enough that in Russian culture, where I came from, where I started doing comedy, same as in American English culture, puns were considered like almost like the low class of humor, because it's easy, it's like a word has two meanings, so it's not a lot of like kind of intelligence in it, even though it is. That's why in Russia is tough. In Russia, we called it practically like a shitty humor, and we would give each other a cup for shitty humor, because when you just play on words. I'm sure no matter what language you're coming from, what's your native language, by the way, let me know in comments, that you have this thing, when you have a joke that is built using the play of words, the double meaning, the words that are sounding the same but mean different. But once again, I don't want you to think about dad jokes as only punny jokes that have pun in it. Sometimes it's just a silly way of pronouncing words. For example, I found another video from the channel Bros and Hats, and I will attach link, best jokes ever, and they had a joke. I'll play it. I hope we won't get, I mean, we'll see. Can I play it?
Who is the loneliest billionaire? Elon Musk?
Like, who's the loneliest? Alone. Elon, alone. Those are not, they're different words, but it's a play on word. The word alone kind of similar to the name Elon. That's what Elon Musk. Silly, stupid, that's why it's funny, you know? That's why you get first like, and then you laugh, because like, oh my god, that's such a foolish joke. But please check out Logan Lyle with the Doc Talk. You probably have seen him on TikTok.
Geology rocks?
Geology rocks. Like, geology rocks. That's it. Like, you know, rock like a stone, and then the same time when something rocks, it's cool, it's just like awesome. So geology rocks, that's it. That's the joke. Or
you want to know the difference between me and a calendar? Calendar has dates.
The difference between me and the calendar has dates. And also what's cool about you know, dates, when we go see each other in a romantic context, it's a date, and the same date is the number on the calendar, you know. Ha 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 ha. What I love about Logan Lyle, because they have like the look of it, they look like dads sitting on the dock and just telling dad jokes. And I think that's why dad jokes became so popular recently. They're beloved by many people because they're so lighthearted, they're sweet, they're not mean, it's not a dark humor, it's a silly, like human humor kinda, you know, like anybody could come up with a dad joke. You can think about a dad joke, you know. I'm sure you have your own. So my friend, who's a fan of soccer, football as we call it in Europe, he was going to Toulouse to watch a football game, soccer game, and he was telling to his friend, I'm going to Toulouse, but not Toulouse. Like, this is silly, but he came up with it and he was laughing because it was so silly. By the way, please, if you have any dad jokes in mind, leave them in comments. Let's laugh together. If I would come up with a dad joke, I'll let you know in comments. And I think it's such an important part of real life English because through dad jokes, we understand the context of real life, of English in real life. Some phrases like, that's where it's at, they are used in real life and they then migrate to jokes, and that's how we learn spoken English, the real English, the English that helps us to communicate. And actually that's why inside of our app, Lola Speak app that is built upon my beliefs on how to approach the language learning process from the real life, we made a category in watch section that has jokes, American jokes, and we put together a list of jokes. Some of them were funny, some of them were dad jokes, and we asked Americans to explain these jokes and to tell us, is it funny for them, or it's not funny, or why the thing is a thing. And let's watch something like, let's watch Jordyn.
A grasshopper walks into a bar and orders a beer. The bartender says, "Hey, we have a drink named after you." The grasshopper says, "Really? You have a drink named Steve?"
That's funny. So this joke could go over some people's heads, but there's an actual drink when you go to a bar called Grasshopper. But in this case, the grasshopper actually has a name, and his name is Steve. I will definitely laugh at a joke like this, but mainly it's for people that go to bars a lot. I actually don't go to bars a lot, but if you do and you know the drink, it'll click right away.
So that example and other jokes that show you I think that's hilarious because I like that she laughed, so it made her laugh. Even though the joke itself, I would categorize it as a dad joke. But it's nice to see the logic behind it, right? If you're not familiar, there is a drink named Grasshopper, and that's why it's so funny when he says, well, you have a drink named Steve, because that was apparently Grasshopper Steve, because it's an anecdote, it's a silly joke, silly situation. If you want to understand more about American culture and learn English, simultaneously getting feedback, AI feedback on your pronunciation and phrases, go right into Lola Speak app. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in comments what other topics about American English, American culture, life in America interest you, and I'll be happy to make a video specifically for you upon your request. Alright, my name is Lola and I'll see you next Friday. If you won't forget to subscribe! Subscribe!